All right, this is John Henson with FloridaPhysique.com, and we are joined by Josh Vogel, teenage sensation. He's doing a leg workout today. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good. How are you, John?
Good. All right, Josh, let's talk a little bit about your career. You're warming up here with some front squats for your leg workout, but you just did the Teen Nationals, right, about 2 weeks ago?
Yes, sir. Actually, coming up on 3 weeks ago, I placed third in my class in the middleweight division, which I was actually pretty happy about. I made considerable improvements in the past year.
Okay. And last year you won the lightweight class, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. Now, I'm noticing here on front squats, you have huge legs, first of all. I mean, they're massive. When you wear like tights, you can see like your legs are just like sticking out. And you're doing front squats, and I noticed your form was just impeccable here. Your upper body didn't move at all. You were totally straight. And you're only a couple days out from where you're doing the Tim Gardner Extravaganza, which is this weekend. It's going to be held in conjunction with the Tampa Bay Pro. So we appreciate you doing a workout for us. You're doing 315, and you did it pretty easily. How heavy would you go in the off season on this?
Usually, I like to play around and go up to 375, and I'll still hit that for some reps. But the heaviest I've ever gone was 405. The most I believe I've ever hit that was for 4 solid reps.
Wow, that's amazing. So what technique tips would you give for people watching this as far as doing front squats? Because I know it's a really tough exercise for a lot of people. They have a hard time keeping their upper body straight.
I get this question pretty much every day. Everyone's like, man, how do you do your form on front squats? And it's taken me about 2 years to get this form pretty solid.
Okay.
And I started on the Smith machine actually with like a 25 on each side.
Okay.
And I just made sure, because I mean, it's a pretty dangerous exercise if done wrong.
Yeah.
So I made sure my form was perfect before moving over to free weights. And even then, I was playing around with 135 for the longest time before I was able to keep moving up in weight, just because you got to build up that core strength too for it.
Yeah. Do you like that exercise better than regular squats?
I would say I prefer it over regular squats.
Okay. And now you're moving on to the leg press, but I noticed you did them one leg at a time. Now, why are you doing that?
Just because whenever I do the two-legged, I feel, I don't know, you can do a lot of weight, but I don't really feel the muscle when I'm working it. I kind of feel like I'm just using the momentum of the machine and just pushing heavy weight. So I like to isolate it a little bit more.
Okay. Do you feel this in a certain area of your legs, more the hamstrings, the quads?
Kind of more in my hams and glutes.
Okay. When you do them one leg at a time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you went pretty heavy. You went up to like 4 plates on each side for one leg. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I like the single leg press quite a bit.
Now, with your leg development, were your legs one of those body parts that just grew really easily when you first started training?
When I first started, they weren't noticeably bigger or anything else than the rest of my body, but I just kind of fell in love with training them more often than my upper body.
Okay.
And they just kind of, I guess, took off a little bit faster due to the more frequent training.
What was the one exercise or the one thing you did that really made your legs grow, or were they always pretty big from the very start?
Squats. Definitely squats are the main.
Yeah. How heavy did you go on squats?
Typically, or I'd say most of the time, 455 is the highest I go, just because I'm a little bit nervous without the spot and stuff.
Yeah.
As you can see, I don't have a workout partner with me at the moment in the video, but the heaviest I've gone was 495 for a couple reps.
Wow, that's a huge weight for someone your age.
Thank you.
Now, you started competing, we were talking yesterday, you said you did your first show at 15 years old.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
That was actually Tim's show, Hurricane Bay.
Okay. So now you're doing Tim's show again this weekend.
Yeah.
So when you started training, you said you weren't really like a skinny kid, you sort of were a little heavy, and then you put on the muscle pretty easily?
I started high school, I was a typical skinny fat kid.
Okay.
I was skinny, but I still had body fat around my stomach and stuff. I really liked Cheetos and things like that, and wasn't too active. But I joined wrestling my freshman year of high school, and I dropped all the way down. I think my list was like 103 pounds, and I was just too skinny, and I started working out more, and the muscle just kind of started coming on pretty nice, and I liked it.
Okay. Now here you're doing standing leg curls, one leg at a time, and you're doing drop sets. Is this one of your preferred exercises for the hamstrings?
I like this. I like the standing leg curl a lot. It feels really good. I prefer lying, but at Powerhouse, the machine doesn't really fit me. I'm a little too short for it.
Okay.
It's just a little awkward, but I do like the standing pretty good.
Okay. And now you're doing the leg extension. You're doing them sort of at the end of the workout, and you're doing them one leg at a time, and then doing 2 legs.
That's kind of just more of an isolation movement at the end with the singles, and kind of finish with the doubles just because kind of get a little bit more blood into the muscle at the end.
And one thing you told me yesterday, which I thought was interesting, you said sometimes in the off season when you're eating more and you have more calories and more carbs, you'll do like giant sets, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of giant sets. I really like how they feel. I've gotten really good results out of doing them. And I don't know, it's just when I have more calories in me, I feel my energy's up, my recovery's much better, so I'm able to do the giant sets. Most I've ever done was 7 exercises in a row.
Wow. And now how many reps are you doing for each exercise when you do that?
It depends exercise to exercise. I mean, it can be anywhere between 8 to 20 reps for each one.
Wow, that's crazy. Now what you're doing here is the hyper extensions, or you just were doing those, and that's more for the glutes and hams, right?
Correct. And here's the HIIT cardio, my famous frog jumps.
Yeah, this is crazy. So you do this instead of regular, just walking the treadmill, or you do the HIIT cardio, right?
Yeah, I like HIIT cardio. I mean, I do a total of like 30 minutes of cardio a week with the HIIT versus what most people do prepping for shows, like 2 hours a day. I just don't have time for it. And I mean, the science shows HIIT is a little bit more effective.
So 30 minutes a week, so what's that like?
Pretty much 10 minutes.
10 minutes, 3 days a week?
Of HIIT 3 times a week.
Okay. So how often would you do, like how many times would you do this? How many cycles?
Anywhere between 4 intervals is what most of my prep was for HIIT.
Okay.
But the highest I ever went to was 8 intervals.
Okay. And now why are you doing those frog jumps? Why are you doing that? More for the quads?
I wouldn't say more for the quads. It's kind of more for glutes and the hams, as well as just the high intensity purpose of it.
Okay. That was pretty interesting. And now here you're posing. You get a couple days out from the Tim Gardner Extravaganza, which will be this weekend out in Tampa, Florida. And what's your weight at now, Josh?
170.
Okay. So now last year you were a lightweight at like 154, right?
Correct.
Wow, that's amazing progress.
Thank you.
So what did you do to put on 15 pounds of muscle? I know you're a young guy and the body grows pretty easily when you're young, but...
I would have to say one of the main things I've changed was the training. My training method itself. I switched over to a more high frequency training, so I've started hitting every body part 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh, okay.
And I feel that's made a pretty good difference.
Are you sore? I mean, does that affect your work?
The first few weeks of me doing it, I was ridiculously sore. But I mean, my body's adjusted to it accordingly, and now it's rare that I get sore anymore. Wow,
well, it's definitely working. We wish you the best of luck this weekend, Josh. I mean, I'm going to check out these quads here, and they're amazing. So I think you got a great career.
Thanks for having me on the show, John.
All right, buddy. We wish you the best of luck, and I think you're going to be like the new Tom Platz. Look at those quads. All right, this is John Hansen with Josh Vogel, and we are at FloridaPhysique.com, and we're wishing Josh the best this weekend at the Tampa Bay Extravaganza. We'll be looking for you in the future. Take it easy, Josh.
All right, see you, John.